Welcome back. Today we are going to be taking a look at the German Hunter F.58. Not only does this thing get an absolute fire camo, it also has quite the performance. Some of you might be familiar with the British Hunter FGA9. This thing used to be absolutely incredible until they added all aspect missiles and this thing became basically ruined. Together with the compression, now it is at 9.3 instead of 9.7, it's a lot more flyable, but dealing with missiles that can lock you from the head on is rather annoying. The same way you have to deal with the J34. I made a video on this thing, without flares of course, how you deal with the A10s, the SU-25s, and it's rather rough. As you can see, these three vehicles all have the exact same battle rating. And you might think, well, they have the same engines then. The answer is no. This one has 3470 kilogram force. The British one, which used to be the best performing one, at 4270. Guess what? The German one has 4270. It doesn't end there. Unlike all the other hunters, this thing gets 60 flares. And then on top of it, you might think, well, they all have missiles. Yes, the thing is, these are Aim 9Es. These are Aim 9Es, of course the Hunter F6 gets SRAMs, but with flares in the mix now they're largely useless. And the Hunter F1 of course gets nothing. The German one however gets, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, they're basically A9Js, which are pretty damn powerful. They're not the best missiles, but at 9.3 on an airframe like this, they're pretty damn strong. So you're looking at the best kitted out, the best engine, and just the best all-around hunter at the same BR in the German nation. Now I don't necessarily agree with the fact that Germany now has the best hunter. It also has drop tanks which come in play quite often. They're pretty good. They're very, very helpful because it makes you able to run minimum fuel with the fuel tanks. And we all know that the Hunter isn't that maneuverable and having all that weight in the tank is going to slow you down. It's very annoying. The thing is, if you have drop tanks, you can run 4 minutes of fuel internal and then 10 minutes external. And if you get in a fight and you need to drop it, you're instantly, boom, you are min fuel. And that's just super convenient in a vehicle like this. So this thing really just has everything going for it, except for the fact that it of course has the Aidens. I'm going to be running the ground belts. I've been having pretty good success with them. They're still not perfect, they're still pretty slow. And the Hunter is still a bit of a brick. But all in all, it's an incredible aircraft. I haven't flown it too much yet, but it's an Hunter FGA with better missiles and flares, as well as the capability to carry drop tanks, which are just a little bit of an ace up your sleeve. They're not a game changer, but it's definitely a big quality of life change on a vehicle like this. Before we get started, thank you to all my supporters and everyone looking to get this decal to put over the vehicle. You can get it by the discount code down below. You can find it here under special. You go to the logo types and you'll find it right there to put on the side of your vehicle. You're not going to be see it on the red part, so I'm going to put it over there. There we go. Massive skill issue. Let's get right into the gameplay. So, how do we fly this thing? Well, it is a Hunter still, and it very much comes down to positioning and knowing what targets to pick. Right here you can see me just kind of locked onto that MiG-19. The MiG-19 will absolutely cancel this vehicle if he plays it right. Now most MiG-19s have no idea what the hell they're doing, but we're just gonna bet on the fact that he does, because I do not want to carry ruined, because I killed 6 enemies, and then because I killed the Saab 105 first instead of the MiG-19, I end up losing. Javelin above us as well, however, and I want to be careful of him because I know that he does have missiles. He can kill us if we don't pay attention, but it looks like he's just flying over us, so I'm gonna switch targets to the F1 Swift directly below us. The G91 then comes in and I'm just gonna pick on him on my way down. We just shoot a bit to the left, no big deal, and we can now loop down and decide to go for the MiG-19. I prime a missile because I expect him to turn out. He turns back in, missile misses. When I see a MiG-19 slow on the deck, I want him to be dead. And I will not take chances. I will make sure that he dies. We do not have all aspect boys in our lobby. So the chance that he is going to be shot down by some random missile is pretty slim. So I just want to make sure that they die if I make the pass. I don't have time to start looping on them. I'm in a hunter, there's too many people around, and I just do not have the ability to really loiter in a bit of a furball. We then take down the G91 that we missed a little bit earlier, and we start extending away from the Swift. The Swift F7 in this case is a pretty formidable plane. The thing is, at lower speed it is insane. It's really good, it holds its speed well. At higher speeds, however, it compresses like an absolute brick and it doesn't have the capability to really slow down. So I'm going to use my air brake. I'm going to try to lure him into a little bit of a rolling scissor. If he does take it, he will simply die. I pull my air brake back in because I don't want to slow down too much. And the Swift F7 realizes that he might overshoot. He sees my teammates coming in and he says, I don't want to do anything with this. I am going to be extending away, which is what he should do. You don't want to be picking a fight with a plane that's better than you at high speed, instantly get reversed, and then aim 9J. The nice thing is, most people don't actually realize yet that this thing has aim 9Js. After this video, you'll probably catch less people off guard, but it's pretty funny. People think you have aim 9Es or they have aim 9Bs. After all, it's a hunter with missiles. Luckily for us, that's not the case. I flare that missile, no reason to do that, because that missile has like 2G pull anyway, and it locks onto us. Oh, it locks to his nose. It's like a beam riding missile. You used to be able to slave it to your radar, and I almost want to fire this one, but he's just a little bit too fast and he's a little bit too far away, and I think to myself, that's never going to reach. So I keep the missile for now. I'm gonna sit on the 6, I'm gonna keep accelerating, and I'm expecting him to go to the left here. Why? Because that's where his airfield is. So we start cutting him off a little bit. We start priming the missile, and now we are roughly going the same speed as him. But because we are going diagonal and he is going straight, we are kind of cutting him off. So even though we are roughly the same speed, we are catching him. 1.5 kilometers, Swift F7 at high speed, you're not gonna be dodging that one. You can slow down, you can drop throttle, and you can't out-turn it. You're simply going too quick. And this goes for a lot of vehicles that this thing faces. If the enemy outruns you and they barely outrun you, you're roughly the same speed, but it's something like, and you'll see this in the next video, like a Yak 30, something like the Swift F7 for example. And this also goes if you play top tier and you are behind something like an F16. If he doesn't have flares or whatever at high speed, he basically does not have the ability to dodge your missiles. So I like to force these guys in very high speed, straight line speed, and if I then get close enough, I fire that missile, and that guy doesn't have flares. He tried to shoot one of the beam riding missiles off. I forgot the designation. Fire flash, I think it was. Doesn't really matter. He tries to flare it, doesn't end up working, and he can't really dodge it because he's simply going too fast. Now, middle of the map, 3 guys left, 2 javelins and an F.86F, and it's probably gonna be the F40 if you see the Japanese flag. You can probably guess that it's an F40. No one really flies the F35 anymore, or the F30 anymore. Maybe it's an F30, but worst case it's an F40. But we're gonna fight them both exactly the same. I want to go for the left javelin because he has a little bit more energy, but the right one is just a bit of a secure kill. So we go head on, we shoot a few rounds, and we blow his wing off. We then turn back in. The F40 is still on R6, and the javelin here, I mean, he's also going pretty slow. I just want to make sure that the F40 below us doesn't have missiles. He's going to fire a missile at us, so I want to just kind of pre-flare. It's probably not going to pull in, but I have all the flares in the world anyway, so I might as well. We shoot him down too. We almost get killed by him, and then my game crashes. Yeah, very cool. Luckily, he dies right there below us. We get 6 kills, and we don't actually end up crashing before the game actually ended. The literal game after, well, you're just gonna do the exact same thing. You kind of want to stay around the outskirts. You don't want to get mixed into these massive fights where you lose track of people, because if you get jumped, if someone gets really closely on you, your only real bet is to air brake harder than them and try to reverse them, unless of course you have enough distance to run away. But if someone really jumps you and gets really close to you, there is just very little you are going to be doing in this thing. You can flop around, it depends on the enemy plane, but if you get something like an F2 on your 6 or something, you're just going to have a very rough time. Yak 38, I want to shoot those down because they're basically a sure kill with the Aim 9Js that don't really have the capability of dodging you easily. But right now I also see Yak 30 around, and I know that he's going to be absolutely annoying to shoot down, so I'm just going to keep my missile for a little bit. Or for the MiG-19, but the MiG-19 just crashed, so we are good on that end. We start running down on the Yak 38. He drops some napalm. He's not really aware of us, but right now we basically have the our leisurely time to kind of sit on this guy 6. Because the Yak 38 it's an absolute sad brick of a vehicle. We get a hit in, we damage his tail control somewhat and his left flap. But it doesn't actually outright kill him. I underlead a little bit. I'm still not very used to Aidens, especially when they are bottom mounted. Even though I have like 1500 kills in the Hunter F1. But that was before the ballistic changes and it took me forever to actually get used to that as well. Right now the Yak 38, the thing with the Yak 38s is they have, some of them carry 4 of the R60s. And I don't want my team to just absolutely get shredded by some guys shooting R60s at my team. So I want to lock this guy down. He's a very easy kill right now. I miss my shots again, a little bit too high. He goes head on with someone. They miss each other. And now I just want to make sure that I don't get slapped down by this A4B. The Yak 38 starts turning on R6 again. The thing is, the Yak 38 just doesn't have the energy. And I just kind of pre-flare a little bit in the case that he shoots an R60 at us. He doesn't do it. He has a MiG-15 on his 6. MiG-15 takes him down. MiG-15 takes himself out for dinner as well. And then they both start hugging a few trees. Well, the Yak 38 doesn't even give us an assist. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. We already have 2 kills and there's plenty of enemies to shoot down still. So we have a Yak 30 at altitude. He is not really a threat, but he's just going to be annoying to kill because it's the Yak 30, the hyper maneuverable. And they have an A5 and 2 A4s. We go head on, we dodge the head on. And we just want to kind of dive in, get some speed back. And see if we can kill someone real quick. A5 rolls out of the way. And I see the A4 coming in and I want to make sure that I just have enough speed to get away from this guy. And the thing is, his top speed is about 1085-ish. Roughly, I don't know it exactly, but he's turning to get on R6. And I'm going about his top speed, or I was at least. So now I just want to make him maneuver a little bit. I'm going to pull him into this little bit of a spiral. And he's going to bleed a lot of energy trying to follow us. And he does kind of take the bait. I can energy trap this guy and I can just kind of hammerhead him. The thing is, there is too many people around. So I just kind of pull in and I start going towards the furball again. Because I don't want any of these guys to start riding my 6. So we go head on with the F-35. We miss our rounds. A5 tries to pull onto our 6. Doesn't actually have the energy to do so. A4B below us. Exact same story. And then we also have a guy that's still chasing us. The A4 from earlier that we energy trapped. And you can tell that the difference in energy now is extremely high. There is just no chance that these guys are going to be catching us. And because our energy retention is so good, we can kind of just spiral all day long. The A4B then kills our Swift. No big deal, however, because I still feel in control. As long as that Yak 30 doesn't come back in, I can energy trap these guys 1 versus 3. No problem. The A5 Saber is kind of annoying to deal with. But the 2 A4s are just kind of shooting fish in a barrel. They don't really have the best turn capability. They are kind of squirrely. But they just don't hold their energy and their acceleration isn't that great. The Yak 30 comes back in, we go head on, we dodge, he then starts recommitting and we just kind of roll up over his nose. Now we have 3 guys on a 6, we have a G91 role playing as the ISS and being absolutely useless. And then we still have 3 guys below us, and the nice thing is I still have a missile. The Yak 30 is kind of disengaging, it looks like, which is kind of making this a 2 versus 2 with a MiG-15 and a Hunter against 2 A4s. And these A4s are just gonna do exactly nothing to this. So I'm gonna go for the guy that's going for the MiG-15. And then I hope that the MiG-15 goes for the guy that I'm leaving right now. And then we both end up getting a kill. We shoot him down. I look at the MiG-15, what he's doing. And he goes for the other guy. So I am gonna extend towards the Yak 30 to try and catch him before he reaches the airfield. And this is the exact same scenario kind of as what we had with the Swift F7. They try to run to the airfield, they try to use their absolute top end speed. And the Yak 30 is surprisingly quick for what it is. The thing is, it just does not move at that speed anymore. So he needs to start turning preemptively, but that means that he's locked in a fight with me and he can't get away from us anymore. So he needs to choose here. Can he run away from us? Not really. So he needs to go defensive a little bit quicker here. Because if he waits too long and I get too close to him, he is simply dead. Even if I don't have Aim 9Js, he is just not going to have the nose authority to really get away from us at high speed if I just park on his 6. So I'm catching him very rapidly now. We are going 1114. And I'm just going to wait and wait a little bit. Because if he doesn't realize that I have Aim 9Js left, because most people don't this late into the game, he tries to turn last second. But that plane doesn't move at that kind of speed. So we go up. I thought he was dead. I recommit because then I thought he wasn't. And then it turns out he is. He kisses the hill there. And that's gonna be kill number 4. And then the F.58 pops up again. And he has just been killing AI for the majority of this game. It really hasn't been much of a threat. And we are just gonna kind of climb up to him and see if we can shoot him down. Now, my battle plan is keep it fast. Keep it around his top speed, which is about 11.07 on the top of my head. And mine is a lot higher. But I'm trying to keep it around 1050 to 1100. So that if he starts doing anything, I will have more speed coming into that fight. And he's already turning. He's already maneuvering. He's shooting at bots. So I don't really have to worry about it. I drop my fuel tanks and boom. There goes a lot of weight and a lot of drag. So now we can just kind of park on this guy 6. But it turns out this guy is just completely unaware. He's completely clueless. And then my aim is as well. Luckily he is still clueless even though we are shooting at him. And we end up getting the bag anyway. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one.